Adversity is an inevitable part of life. No matter who you are or where you come from, challenges will arise, difficulties will present themselves, and obstacles will stand in your way. While many view adversity as a misfortune, Stoicism teaches that adversity is, in fact, one of the greatest teachers. Hardships force individuals to grow, to develop resilience, and to refine their understanding of themselves and the world. In moments of struggle, people are given the opportunity to test their character, cultivate inner strength, and embrace the lessons that discomfort brings. Adversity reveals who we truly are. When everything is going well, it is easy to act virtuous, patient, and composed. However, the real test of character comes when life becomes difficult. In these moments, a person's true nature emerges. Do they react with anger, frustration, or despair? Or do they face challenges with courage, wisdom, and patience? Stoicism teaches that hardships are not inherently negative. Rather, they serve as a mirror, reflecting the level of self-mastery a person has achieved. If one approaches adversity with the right mindset, it becomes an opportunity to refine and strengthen character. Difficulties also teach resilience. Without resistance, muscles do not grow stronger. The same applies to the mind and spirit. If one lives a life with a struggle, they become fragile, unable to handle even minor inconveniences. Challenges provide the necessary resistance for the development of mental and emotional strength. Each hardship faced and overcome builds endurance, making future obstacles easier to manage. The Stoic mindset embraces this growth, understanding that difficulties are the training ground for fortitude. A person who has encountered and endured suffering emerges stronger, more disciplined, and more capable of handling whatever life throws their way. Adversity fosters wisdom. It is through mistakes, failures, and difficulties that people gain deeper insights into themselves and the world. While success is enjoyable, it rarely teaches as much. A person who has never faced difficulties may remain naive, believing that life is predictable and fair. However, those who have experienced hardship understand the impermanent and unpredictable nature of life. They learn to expect the unexpected, to adapt, and to navigate life's uncertainties with composure. Every challenge offers a lesson, whether it is patience, perseverance, or the ability to let go of what cannot be controlled. By embracing adversity, one gains knowledge that cannot be acquired through comfort alone. Hardships also cultivate humility. When people experience suffering, they often gain a greater appreciation for the struggles of others. Those who have faced pain, loss, or failure develop a deeper sense of empathy. They understand that everyone carries their own burdens, and this realization fosters compassion. A person who has never known adversity may judge others harshly, believing that success is simply a matter of effort or intelligence. However, those who have suffered recognize the role that circumstances, luck, and unforeseen events play in life. This understanding prevents arrogance and promotes kindness. Another valuable lesson adversity teaches is the art of detachment. Many people base their happiness on external factors: wealth, status, relationships, or achievements. When these things are taken away, they experience deep suffering. However, Stoicism encourages individuals to find stability within themselves. Hardships remind us that external things are temporary, and that true peace comes from inner strength. A person who has lost something valuable learns that their happiness cannot be dependent on possessions or circumstances. This realization leads to a mindset of gratitude for what remains rather than despair for what is lost. Through adversity, one learns to detach from the illusion of control and embrace life as it unfolds. Difficulties also force individuals to confront their fears. Fear of failure, rejection, or loss often holds people back from reaching their full potential. However, when adversity strikes, it forces one to face these fears head-on. In doing so, individuals often realize that fear itself is far more paralyzing than the actual experience of hardship. Many who endure suffering emerge with a newfound confidence, having discovered that they are stronger than they once believed. They learn that failure is not the end, that rejection does not define them, and that loss, while painful, is survivable. By facing adversity, people become less controlled by fear and more willing to take risks, to grow, and to live fully. Adversity refines priorities. When life is easy, it is common to become distracted by trivial matters. People may chase material wealth, superficial success, or societal validation without questioning whether these pursuits bring true fulfillment. However, when faced with hardship, perspective shift. Suddenly what once seemed important fades in significance, and deeper values emerge. Difficult times have a way of clarifying what truly matters: relationships, inner peace, and a sense of purpose. Many people who have endured great suffering find that they emerge with a stronger sense of what they want from life and a clearer vision of their values. Challenges also strengthen discipline and self-control. When faced with adversity, individuals must decide how they will respond. Giving in to frustration, self-pity, or despair only worsens the situation. However, those who choose to remain composed, to act with patience and wisdom, cultivate greater self-mastery. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of controlling one's reactions rather than being controlled by external circumstances. Each hardship presents an opportunity to practice this principle. Over time, responding with calmness and rationality becomes second nature. The more one exercises discipline in difficult moments, the more it becomes ingrained in their character. Perhaps one of the greatest lessons adversity teaches is the power of perseverance. Many of the greatest achievements in history were accomplished by individuals who refused to give up despite immense obstacles. Every failure, setback, or rejection they faced was a lesson that guided them toward eventual success. Those who have never struggled often give up at the first sign of difficulty, believing that challenges mean are on the wrong path. However, those who have faced and overcome hardships understand that perseverance is the key to growth. They learn to see obstacles not as signs of failure, but as part of the journey toward achievement. By embracing this mindset, they develop the ability to persist through any difficulty. Adversity also reveals the strength of human adaptability. Many fear that they will not be able to handle certain hardships, believing that if misfortune strikes, they will break. However, when difficulties arise, people often discover that they are far more resilient than they imagined. Humans have an incredible capacity to adapt, to survive, and to rebuild. This realization is liberating, as it removes much of the anxiety associated with uncertainty. Knowing that one can endure and adjust to even the most difficult circumstances provides a deep sense of inner security. While adversity is often painful, it is also a source of transformation. Those who embrace their struggles with an open mind and a willingness to learn often emerge wiser, stronger, and more compassionate. The difficulties faced become stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks, shaping individuals into their best selves. Each challenge is an opportunity for growth, a chance to practice patience, resilience, and wisdom. By viewing adversity as a teacher rather than an enemy, one can navigate life's inevitable hardships with grace and strength. Life is full of uncertainties, challenges, and events beyond our control. Every day we encounter situations that test our patience, emotions, and resilience. The Stoic philosophy teaches that one of the most important lessons in life is to distinguish between what we can control and what we cannot. Understanding this fundamental truth allows us to direct our energy wisely, focus on what truly matters, and free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. When we try to control things outside our influence, we set ourselves up for frustration, disappointment, and stress. But when we focus only on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and responses, we gain a sense of peace and stability that external circumstances cannot shake. People often expend tremendous energy worrying about things they cannot change. They stress over the opinions of others, fear the uncertainty of the future, and dwell on past mistakes that cannot be undone. This mental and emotional drain serves no purpose except to weaken one's spirit. Stoicism teaches that the key to inner peace is letting go of the illusion of control. We cannot dictate how others behave, nor can we predict or prevent every possible misfortune. However, we have complete control over our own mindset, attitudes, and decisions. By shifting our focus inward, we reclaim our power and develop a stronger sense of agency over our lives. When we focus on what we can control, we develop emotional resilience. Instead of being thrown into distress by external events, we learn to regulate our reactions. If someone insults us, we cannot control their words, but we can control whether we let their remarks affect us. If we lose a job, we may not be able to reverse the decision, but we can control how we respond, whether with despair or with a determination to seek new opportunities. In every situation, our power lies in how we choose to interpret and react to what happens to us. This shift in perspective allows us to remain calm, even in the face of adversity. Another significant benefit of focusing on what we can control is the ability to cultivate a proactive mindset. Many people waste time blaming others, complaining about circumstances, or waiting for things to change. This approach leaves them feeling powerless and stuck. However, those who embrace the Stoic principle of control recognize that they always have choices. If something in their life is not going well, they take responsibility for what they can do to improve it. They focus on their effort, attitude, and the small steps they can take to move forward. This proactive approach leads to a greater sense of purpose and achievement, as they no longer waste time on things beyond their reach. The fear of uncertainty is one of the greatest sources of anxiety. Many people worry about the future, attempting to predict or control events that have not yet occurred. This fixation on the unknown creates unnecessary stress, as no amount of worry can change what will happen. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control future events, we can prepare ourselves to handle whatever comes. We can build skills, cultivate resilience, and adopt a mindset that allows us to face difficulties with confidence. By focusing on preparation rather than prediction, we free ourselves from anxiety and become better equipped to navigate life's uncertainties. Another important application of this principle is in relationships. Many conflicts arise because people try to control others, how they think, feel, or act. This desire for control often leads to frustration and disappointment because no one can truly control another person. The only thing within our control is how we communicate, how we set boundaries, and how we choose to interpret the actions of others. Instead of trying to change people, Stoicism teaches us to accept them as they are and focus on our own behavior. This approach reduces stress and leads to healthier, more respectful relationships. Focusing on what we can control also helps in overcoming failure. Many people fear failure because they equate it with personal inadequacy. However, failure is often influenced by factors outside our control: market conditions, luck, timing, or the decisions of others. By shifting our focus from the outcome to the effort, we free ourselves from the fear of failure. If we put in our best effort, learn from mistakes, and continue improving, we have succeeded in what is within our control. This mindset allows us to take risks, grow, and develop resilience without being paralyzed by the fear of things not going as planned. One of the greatest obstacles to happiness is the tendency to compare ourselves to others. Social media, societal expectations, and personal insecurities often lead people to measure their worth against external standards. This pursuit of validation creates a cycle of dissatisfaction because external comparisons are beyond our control. Stoicism reminds us that the only meaningful comparison is with ourselves, who we were yesterday versus who we are today. By focusing on personal growth, effort, and self-improvement, we break free from the burden of competition and find true fulfillment. Control over one's thoughts is another crucial aspect of this philosophy. Negative thoughts, self-doubt, and destructive emotions often take hold of the mind, leading to stress and unhappiness. While we cannot always control the initial thoughts that arise, we can control how we engage with them. We can choose to challenge irrational fears, replace negative thinking with constructive thoughts, and practice mindfulness to stay present. This mental discipline strengthens our ability to remain calm, rational, and focused on what truly matters. In the end, the Stoic principle of focusing on what we can control is a path to freedom. It liberates us from the burdens of worry, frustration, and helplessness. It teaches us to direct our energy where it matters: our actions, attitudes, and responses. By embracing this mindset, we cultivate resilience, wisdom, and inner peace. Instead of being at the mercy of external events, we become the masters of our own lives, shaping our destiny through the choices we make each day. Life moves quickly, and many people find themselves constantly thinking about the past or worrying about the future. The mind is often preoccupied with regrets, memories, and unresolved events from days gone by, or it races ahead, planning for what might come next. While reflecting on the past and preparing for the future have their place, an overemphasis on these things can lead to a life where the present moment is lost. Stoicism teaches that true peace and fulfillment come from living fully in the present. When people learn to immerse themselves in the now, they unlock a sense of clarity, joy, and purpose that is unavailable to those who are mentally trapped in what has been or what is yet to come. One of the biggest sources of human suffering is regret. People often look back on their lives with sorrow, wishing they had made different choices, spoken different words, or taken advantage of opportunities they let slip away. They replay past mistakes in their minds, reliving moments of embarrassment, pain, or failure. While it is natural to learn from past experiences, excessive dwelling on the past serves no purpose except to rob the present of its vitality. The past cannot be changed, no matter how much one wishes it could. The only thing that can be controlled is the present moment, the decisions made, the actions taken, and the thoughts entertained right now. When people realize that they have no power over what has already happened, they begin to let go of regret and redirect their focus toward making the best use of the time they still have. Anxiety about the future is another mental trap that prevents people from fully experiencing life. Many worry about things that have not yet happened, imagining worst-case scenarios and stressing over events beyond their control. They become so consumed by what might go wrong that they fail to appreciate what is happening in the present. The future is always uncertain, and no amount of worry will change that. People can plan, prepare, and make thoughtful choices, but they cannot predict every outcome. The best way to approach the future is by making the most of the present. By focusing on doing the best one can with the time at hand, a person naturally sets themselves up for a better future without being consumed by fear or anxiety. The present moment is the only thing that truly belongs to anyone. The past is gone, and the future has not yet arrived. People often take the present for granted, believing that they will have time later to do the things they want, spend time with loved ones, pursue their passions, or simply appreciate life's small joys. But time is uncertain, and putting off life for the future is a dangerous gamble. Many realize too late that they have let life slip away while waiting for some distant moment of fulfillment. Stoicism teaches that life is best lived by being fully present in each moment, savoring it for what it is rather than always looking ahead to what might come next. One of the most effective ways to embrace the present is to cultivate mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of bringing full attention to the current experience, whether it is eating, walking, listening, or even breathing. Many people go through life on autopilot, not truly paying attention to what they are doing. They eat meals while scrolling through their phones, engage in conversations while thinking about something else, or rush through daily activities without appreciating them. When people slow down and become fully engaged in what they are doing, they experience life more deeply. The simplest moments, feeling the warmth of the sun, hearing a child's laughter, or tasting a well-cooked meal, become sources of joy when they are experienced with full awareness. Another way to embrace the present is to accept it as it is, without resisting reality. Many people waste energy wishing that things were different, fighting against what is happening in their lives rather than accepting it and responding to it wisely. Resistance to reality creates suffering. If it is raining, wishing for sunshine does not change the weather, it only adds frustration. If an unexpected problem arises, complaining about it does nothing to solve it. The Stoic approach is to meet each moment as it comes, without judgment, and to focus on what can be done rather than on how things should have been. When people accept the present moment for what it is, they free themselves from unnecessary emotional turmoil and gain the ability to respond with clarity and wisdom. Living in the present also deepens relationships. Many people fail to be fully present with the people they care about. They listen to conversations while thinking about their own thoughts. They check their phones instead of making eye contact, and they let distractions pull them away from meaningful interactions. When people learn to be truly present with others, to listen fully, to engage sincerely, and to appreciate the time spent together, they strengthen their relationships and build deeper connections. Moments with loved ones are precious, and when they are lived fully, they become lasting memories that bring real fulfillment. Gratitude is another essential aspect of living in the present. Many people spend their lives chasing happiness, believing that fulfillment will come when they achieve a certain goal, acquire a certain possession, or reach a certain stage in life. This mindset keeps them perpetually dissatisfied, always looking ahead to the next thing. However, true happiness is found in appreciating what already exists. When people take time to recognize and be grateful for the good in their lives, health, friendships, nature, experiences, they shift their focus from what they lack to what they have. Gratitude grounds people in the present, allowing them to experience joy in the here and now rather than postponing happiness for the future. Letting go of attachment to the past and future also allows for greater creativity and spontaneity. When people are too fixated on what has already happened or what is yet to come, they often hesitate to take action, fearing failure or judgment. However, when they immerse themselves fully in the present, they act with greater freedom. They are more open to new experiences, more willing to take risks, and more engaged in the creative process. Many artists, writers, and musicians speak of being in the zone, a state where they are completely absorbed in their work without distraction. This state of flow is only possible when the mind is focused entirely on the present moment, unburdened by fear, doubt, or external concerns. The ability to live in the present also brings a sense of peace. Many people feel restless, always searching for something outside themselves to bring contentment. However, when they learn to be fully present, they discover that peace is not something that needs to be chased, it is already available in the here and now. When the mind is not caught up in regrets or worries, there is a sense of stillness, clarity, and acceptance. In this state, even life's simplest moments become profound. A walk in nature, a quiet evening, or a conversation with a friend can become deeply fulfilling when experienced with full awareness. Living in the present does not mean ignoring the past or neglecting the future. It means recognizing that the only moment available for action, experience, and appreciation is the one happening right now. It is in this moment that choices are made, relationships are nurtured, and life is truly lived. By embracing the present fully, people free themselves from unnecessary suffering, deepen their connections with others, and find joy in the simplest aspects of life. The power of now is undeniable, and those who learn to live in it unlock a sense of peace and fulfillment that cannot be found anywhere else. Emotions are a fundamental part of human experience. They shape thoughts, influence decisions, and affect interactions with others. However, emotions can also become a source of distress when they are allowed to take control. Many people go through life being ruled by their emotions, reacting impulsively to situations rather than responding with clarity and wisdom. Mastering emotions is not about suppressing or denying them, but about understanding them, regulating them, and ensuring they serve rather than control. The ability to manage emotions effectively leads to greater resilience, better decision-making, and a deeper sense of inner peace. One of the first steps in mastering emotions is self-awareness. Many people experience emotions without fully understanding why they feel the way they do. They might react with anger, sadness, or frustration without identifying the deeper cause. Developing self-awareness means taking the time to examine emotions objectively, recognizing patterns, and understanding the triggers behind them. When people learn to observe their emotions, rather than being overwhelmed by them, they gain the power to respond thoughtfully, instead of reacting impulsively. Another key aspect of emotional mastery is recognizing that emotions are temporary. In the heat of the moment, strong emotions can feel overwhelming, as if they will last forever. However, just as clouds pass through the sky, emotions come and go. The problem arises when people make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. Acting out of anger, fear, or sadness often leads to regret. When individuals learn to pause and allow emotions to settle before taking action, they gain greater control over their responses. Developing the patience to let emotions pass before reacting is a skill that prevents unnecessary conflicts and poor decisions. A major cause of emotional instability is attachment to external outcomes. Many people tie their happiness to things beyond their control: success, approval from others, relationships, or material possessions. When these things do not go as expected, they experience intense disappointment and emotional turmoil. Stoicism teaches that true stability comes from focusing on what is within one's control: one's thoughts, actions, and attitudes. By shifting the focus inward and detaching from the need for external validation, people free themselves from unnecessary suffering. Mastering emotions means developing the ability to remain steady regardless of external circumstances. Practicing emotional regulation also involves developing a strong mindset. Negative emotions such as anger, jealousy, and anxiety often arise from distorted thinking, assuming the worst, taking things personally, or magnifying problems beyond their true significance. Training the mind to challenge these thoughts and replace them with rational perspectives is a powerful way to gain emotional control. Instead of reacting with frustration when faced with an obstacle, one can reframe it as a challenge to overcome. Instead of feeling defeated by failure, one can view it as a learning experience. The way emotions are experienced is largely shaped by the way situations are interpreted. Another important aspect of emotional mastery is the ability to remain calm under pressure. In difficult situations, many people become consumed by their emotions, allowing stress and panic to cloud their judgment. However, those who have trained themselves to remain composed under pressure make better decisions and handle adversity with greater ease. Developing techniques such as deep breathing, mindfulness, and mental discipline helps in staying calm even in challenging circumstances. The ability to control emotions in moments of crisis is a valuable skill that leads to better problem solving and greater confidence. Emotional mastery also involves not being overly influenced by the emotions of others. Many people absorb the negativity, stress, or anger of those around them, allowing external emotions to dictate their own state of mind. While empathy is important, emotional independence is equally necessary. Learning to maintain one's own emotional stability regardless of how others behave is a sign of true emotional strength. It allows for healthier relationships and prevents unnecessary emotional exhaustion. One of the most powerful ways to master emotions is through practice and discipline. Just as physical strength is built through consistent effort, emotional strength is developed by repeatedly practicing emotional control. Small, everyday moments provide opportunities to strengthen emotional discipline, choosing patience over frustration, gratitude over resentment, and calmness over impulsiveness. Over time, these small choices accumulate, making emotional mastery a natural way of being. Mastering emotions does not mean eliminating them, but learning to navigate them wisely. Emotions are signals, not commands. They provide valuable information, but they do not have to dictate actions. By developing self-awareness, practicing emotional regulation, and cultivating inner stability, individuals gain the power to use emotions as a tool, rather than being controlled by them. This leads to a life of greater balance, wisdom, and fulfillment. Virtue is often regarded as the foundation of a meaningful and fulfilling life. It is the guiding principle that shapes character, informs decisions, and provides a moral compass in an unpredictable world. Unlike external achievements, wealth, or status, which can be lost or taken away, virtue is entirely within one's control. It is the one thing that remains steadfast regardless of circumstances. The belief that virtue is the highest good is a central idea in Stoicism, emphasizing that true happiness and inner peace come not from material success or external validation, but from living a life of wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. One of the reasons virtue is the highest good is that it provides a stable foundation for happiness. Many people seek fulfillment in external things, money, recognition, pleasure, but these are fleeting and dependent on factors outside one's control. Wealth can be lost, reputations can be damaged, and pleasures can fade, leaving people feeling empty when their sources of happiness disappear. Virtue, on the other hand, is self-sustaining. A person who acts with integrity, kindness, and wisdom derives satisfaction from their actions, regardless of external rewards or consequences. This inner fulfillment is deeper and more lasting than any temporary pleasure or material gain. Living a virtuous life also leads to true freedom. Many people are controlled by their desires, emotions, or fears, leading them to act in ways that are inconsistent with their values. They may compromise their principles for short-term gain, make decisions based on social pressure, or react impulsively to situations without considering the moral implications. However, those who prioritize virtue are not slaves to their impulses or circumstances. They act with intention, making choices based on reason rather than external influence. This self-mastery creates a sense of liberation, allowing individuals to live with integrity and peace of mind. Virtue also enhances relationships and society as a whole. A world in which people act with honesty, fairness, and compassion is a world that thrives. When individuals prioritize virtue, they treat others with respect, uphold their commitments, and contribute positively to their communities. This creates trust, stability, and harmony in both personal and societal relationships. In contrast, when people act out of selfishness, dishonesty, or greed, relationships deteriorate and social structures weaken. By striving to cultivate virtue, individuals not only improve their own lives, but also contribute to the well-being of others. Another reason virtue is the highest good is that it provides resilience in the face of adversity. Hardships and challenges are inevitable in life, but those who possess strong moral character are better equipped to handle them. A person who values courage does not crumble in the face of fear. One who practices patience does not become overwhelmed by frustration. Those who uphold justice do not compromise their principles when faced with difficulties. Virtue acts as a source of strength, allowing individuals to navigate life's obstacles with dignity and composure. The pursuit of virtue also brings clarity and purpose. Many people drift through life without a clear sense of direction, chasing after success, pleasure, or social approval without considering what truly matters. However, when virtue is seen as the highest good, life gains meaning beyond personal ambition or external validation. Every decision, every action, and every moment becomes an opportunity to align with higher principles. This sense of purpose provides a deeper motivation than any material goal, creating a life of intentionality and fulfillment. Virtue is also unique because it is available to everyone, regardless of circumstances. Unlike wealth, power, or status, which are often determined by luck or external conditions, virtue is entirely within one's control. A person may be rich or poor, strong or weak, privileged or disadvantaged, but they can always choose to act with wisdom, courage, and integrity. This makes virtue the most democratic and accessible path to true happiness. No external force can take virtue away from someone who is committed to living by it. Furthermore, virtue aligns with the nature of human beings as rational and social creatures. People have the ability to reason, reflect, and make ethical choices. They also have a natural inclination toward cooperation, empathy, and justice. When individuals act virtuously, they fulfill their highest potential as human beings. They live in harmony with their nature rather than being driven by base desires or destructive impulses. In doing so, they experience a profound sense of inner peace, knowing that they are living in accordance with their highest values. Virtue is the highest good because it is the one thing that leads to a deeply meaningful, stable, and fulfilling life. It provides happiness that is not dependent on external factors, grants freedom from destructive impulses, strengthens relationships and communities, and serves as a source of resilience and purpose. Unlike material success, which can be lost, or fleeting pleasures which fade, virtue is enduring. It is a path available to all, leading to a life of integrity, wisdom, and true fulfillment. In the end, virtue is the one thing that truly belongs to us. Wealth, status, and external achievements may come and go, but the character we cultivate remains within our control. By choosing wisdom over ignorance, courage over fear, justice over selfishness, and self-discipline over indulgence, we shape a life that is not only meaningful but also resilient in the face of adversity. True fulfillment does not come from what we possess, but from who we become. When we make virtue our highest pursuit, we find a sense of purpose, inner peace, and strength that no external force can take away. And in living virtuously, we not only better ourselves, we uplift those around us and contribute to a world that thrives on integrity, wisdom, and compassion.